To my pick-me-ass best friend who ruined my marriage. I'm sure you're wondering why all of a sudden I exited every group chat you were a part of, why you can no longer find me on social media, why even with your birthday coming up, Christmas past, New Year's past, Valentine's Day past, you haven't heard a fucking word from me. My husband is in love with you. You and him have ruined my life. I've loved you since we were toddlers. I barely remember life without you. We're 30 years old and your insecure ass put your own confidence boosts above our friendship. You're one of the most beautiful girls I know. We tell you that every fucking time we see you. The girls and I tell you how gorgeous you are and how it's insane that you won't date/too scared to date. Regardless of how I side-eye you wearing certain shit around my husband when we're supposed to be having casual get-togethers, I still tell you that you look amazing. And even though it irks me at how you want to play drunk, bitch, I'm the lightweight and it took 20 watered ass down shots for me to get buzzed, but all of a sudden you're wasted after 5 shots? Bitch, please, and start to remove clothes in front of him. I still tuck you in and tried to take care of you. My husband admitted he gets your vibe and he can't get you out of his head. That he thinks that for the last 2 years, he has been falling for you. You. The last time you were here for a Friendsgiving, you and him locked eyes for a second when we were eating and you took it upon yourself to start sucking some chips like if you were blowing a cock as you sat across from him. We all were like, okay now bitch, damn, why you eating it like that? And you just acted like what? As the night progressed, everyone kept drinking, but me, BC, I wanted to stay as aware as possible. I watched how he stared at you dance and how uncomfortable he got when you told your shit blind date story. You took it upon yourself to start talking about your breasts in front of him. You shook your ass in his direction as he walked by you to a song that wasn't even an ass-shaking song. Those next few days here were awful. I interrogated him and asked him what TF is going on with y'all, BC, that shit wasn't okay. You've done lots of pick-me-ass shit here, like wearing a maxi skirt, but somehow that shit would raise itself damn near to where we could all see your underwear and you not pulling it down but complaining you're cold, like undressing halfway through my house while asking me for comfy clothes, and when I was like, girl, what are you doing? You played dumb. But you've never been so fucking disrespectful like that night. He would swear on God and on his mom, his life, our kids, that he only wanted me and that he only loved me, that you weren't shit to him and that you were nothing but the stupid one in my friend group, that he couldn't care less about you. Liar. I was irritated with you and didn't reply to anything you would send, BC. I wanted you to ask me what was wrong. I wanted you to be oblivious to what you had done and be like, hello? Where are you, friend? But no! So tell me why, working through issues this fucker and I decide we need to lay everything out on the table. I asked about you, BC, even though we haven't talked in months. That shit wasn't sitting right in my spirit. Call me a bruja, witch, or something, but I fucking knew what I knew. I asked him if there was something going on with y'all and he goes, I never touched her, and we don't talk or message. I only see her when she comes over, but she's in my heart. In your heart? You have feelings for her, like a crush, or more than that? More, I think I might have loved her, bitch, when I tell you I had the air sucked out of my body. Tonto ACI? That much though? I asked him if every time he would suggest you guys come over, was that for him to get his fix to see you, and this MS said I would tell you to have them over when you were down. BC, I know you love having your friends around and they make you laugh and smile, but I can honestly say I had you message them to come over once so I could see her. I missed her. Insert my immediate sobs. I got TF up and went outside on a walk. BC, I felt like I was going to have a panic attack and throw up. I didn't believe him when he said he loved you, past tense, so when I got back, of course he's on my ass trying to smother TF out of me, even though I kept telling him to leave me TF alone, and he's trying to hold me, wanting to apologize, and I keep saying okay, but you're in love with her, present tense. Till he eventually started changing the wording and stopped saying loved and using love. He said, believe me, I hate that she's in there. I hate it. I hate her for getting in there. Ick how it happened. I'm sorry. I heaved and heaved and heaved, but nothing came up. I was that sick to my stomach. I have been with his ass since we were 16. You know all the bullshit we've had to overcome. You know what hell we went through with my in-laws at the beginning of my marriage. You and the girls were there to help put me back together. Look, Ick if you have feelings for him too, or if you just use him to get your fix at feeling desired and feeling wanted. BC, you're too much of a pussy to find an available man to get that from. Ick if you're jealous that I'm not as pretty as you and yet I have a long-time partner, supposed to be 13 years next month, married, children, and own my own house all before 30, and you're as beautiful as you are, haven't been in a serious relationship since high school, 30 years old with no kids, still living at home with your parents. I almost hope you have feelings for him, that it came out of nowhere and that it was an accidental and never meant to happen, and that it wasn't the latter of you hating my life and what I have built so you could try to see if you could mess it up. Either way, I'm done with you. Maybe I might be willing to work on things with him, maybe. BC, sometimes couples are able to get over infidelity. Him falling in love with someone else is absolutely an infidelity to our vows. You, on the other hand, you were my best friend for the last 27 years of my life. How could you? You had my love, you had my confidence, you had my support. Only for me to look back and see that you were nothing but a snake in my garden. You will forever be one of the biggest, harshest, life-shattering heartbreaks I will ever have. Bye. I'm going to try my best to not wish this karma on you, but fuck man. I fucking hate you. Edit. Firstly, thank you to everyone who had sent me a DM or commented on here wishing the best for me. Some of y'all, especially in my DMs, have really made me laugh and have brought me out of this category 5 hurricane volcanic monsoon ball of rage and sadness I feel. Even if only for a few seconds. Thank you, I dearly love to laugh. While I feel like I'm drowning all on my own, so many of you have been in similar situations, and that truly pains me that anyone else has ever felt this darkness I feel right now. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, except maybe these rad shit PPL, and even then I feel bad for wishing bad on someone. The same healing y'all wish for me, I wish for y'all red heart. Secondly, to all the PPL who are continuing to call me out for focusing on her rather than talking about his role in this. Read the title. This is specifically meant for her. I don't have to write my truths and feelings out to him here on Reddit. BC, he's getting that shit to his face. I don't have the luxury of cutting him out and ghosting him the way I did her. BC, we share the same house, we share the same space, and we share the same kids. I'm forced to deal with his being in my presence and he's forced to deal with my rage head on, so all of y'all that want to minimize what he did, BC, he didn't touch her, can feel sorry for him. BC, I sure don't. I have zero intentions of letting her back into my life or ever seeing her within my reasonable control ever again, regardless of how my marriage plays out. If I pick up and find another man in the future, I would never be able to have her around my home comfortably again, and after all of this I think I deserve that peace. This rage/hurt vent was targeted towards her. BC, she deserves to see her roll dead on and carry that weight on her fucking back. She doesn't get to put her load on him. BC, she knew what she was doing. She has to carry what she did to me all on her own. The same way he has to carry what he not only did to me, but what he did to our family all on his own. One day I will have to forgive this man, even if I leave him. BC, we have children to raise. My time with him will never be done. BC, of them. Romantically, ick if I'll ever be able to deal with his ass ever again, but I will eventually have to get to a point when I can at least be cordial and platonic with him for the sake of my children. I will have to bring myself to forgive him so that I can continue try to raise my children in a stable family life. Even if it's a broken family. That's what they deserve out of me. They deserve to have a father that will continue to try and grow and better himself, even if it's not for me. They deserve to have a mother that has peace in her heart, even if she's had a lot of heartbreak. They deserve to have us around and not carry the burden of our history, grab a hold of their peace and stress. They deserve good parents, even if the parents can't make it work. This one is a petty point, to you annoying PPL who keep shitting your pants about me not putting in paragraphs, or it being too hard to read for you. I don't care, lol, I hope that bitch struggles to follow along too. What the fuck do I look like trying to make her life easier by giving her paragraphs, lol. One day I might not wish her harm, karma, or any bad juju, but my petty ass will probably always wish these fuckers every little minor inconvenience in life. Like having to read a wall of text, lol. Lastly, some of you have pointed out my comment history where I talk about having other issues with my husband quite a few months ago. Yes, I was struggling with feeling insufficient and unheard in my marriage. Yes, I wasn't sure if I was still in love with him. I was going above and beyond to try and make things good for us, and I was getting desperate to try anything. What y'all are failing to see is that marriage problems and emotions come and go. They hit in waves. As someone pointed out in the comments, marriage has lows and then even lower spots, and then you hit a high that makes every low worth it. I make the best effort I humanly make to try and better what I can better to see if what I built was actually worth it. What I didn't know was that 8 months ago, when I was begging for him to put more effort in, he was already in love with someone else for a year and a half. That's why we were where we were. I'm not perfect, Patty. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I know what I'm good at and I know where I can improve. I know I'm mature and immature all in the same breath. I also know venting my anger out for her is better than me telling her face to face. I know myself. I'd rather deal with the fallout of my darkness here to strangers on the internet than inside jail. I know I was a good wife and a good friend, and I know I didn't deserve this behavior and hurt and betrayal from either of them. You guys can judge all you want. I know what I am and I know who I am. I know I'll be fine one day.